guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, Bitcoin has finally broken out of this downwards sloping resistance. You could see that was holding us down right here, and we have, in fact, broken out of it. Now, keep in mind, we did not get above the horizontal resistance. And also, one thing, interestingly enough, was we never went down to the $41,000 max pain level for the futures or options expiry. So what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, I got to tell you right now, guys, you know I've been bullish going into April, but there is a massive trend shift happening right now for Bitcoin. In fact, there was even an interview with Janet Yellen where she was kind of, somewhat positive or at least neutral on Bitcoin. You know, times are changing when Yellen is, in the middle about Bitcoin, but we need to talk about specifically what is happening, very, very critical levels to pay attention to. And I also want to talk about probably the most insane Bitcoin price prediction I have ever heard in my entire life, and why now could actually potentially be the best time to buy Bitcoin. Things are getting absolutely crazy. You are going to want to stick around to the end of this video. This is some of the most exciting things that I have seen regarding Bitcoin in quite some time. Let's be honest, it was getting very, very boring. My friends, I think that this is the calm before the storm, and I do think that April is going to be absolutely, absolutely massive, and everybody's still worrying about whether or not Bitcoin could be banned. Well, it actually technically still potentially could be banned, but we're going to talk about that and why we shouldn't be worried and what really is going on in the background. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you guys are not subscribed, definitely consider it. And of course, if you are going to be in Miami Beach, April 6th through 9th, come hang out with me. Come say hello. I will be at the Miami Bitcoin Conference. And if you want to get 10% off on those tickets, just use the promo code ZOMBIE at checkout. Hope to see you there, my friends. But having a look right here, even though, yes, we did break that downward sloping resistance right here. We have broken out of that. Probably the most important, the most critical is this horizontal right here, which is sitting at around 44,970. Now, we just barely touched it, but of course, we are currently seeing the resistance at these levels again right here. Now, obviously, weekend price action, you got to take it with a grain of salt. We do have to see what happens on Monday. If we do break out above this, and this is the move we've been waiting for, then the next level you're looking at is around that $46,680 level. And if we break through that, you're probably going to be looking at around a $52,000 Bitcoin, maybe even by the end of next week. That is an absolute possibility. Now, on the flip side, we have been forming this ascending triangle for quite some time now. So there is still that chance if we do get rejected, if you're looking to short Bitcoin, which that's on you if you want to short Bitcoin at these levels. If you're interested, though, I do have a tutorial popping up above, $4,000 in bonuses per exchange. So 8,000 plus 50% BTC. Check out those links below. But like I said, if we were to have a rejection and this would be an opportunity for a short, then the target would be back down below this level at around $38,600. And then we would continue until we either have a breakout or a breakdown. But it does look like, as I've been saying, April could be quite bullish. Now, this doesn't mean that we couldn't see some type of a pullback, right? We've had this beautiful support on the Ichimoku. So, we almost got to the top level right here, sitting around 46,000. That could also show, a little bit of resistance for the, traders as well, but it's very, very apparent, very obvious. You can see right here, we simply need to get above this red level. And, once we get out of that, then we are still in this ascending wedge. But as I said, guys, if we break above this level right here, then the next level is easily that $52,000 level, which personally could just completely send the markets back into a full-on bull trend. But, not trying to get overly bullish. We've been going sideways, just being realistic. We could always pull back, but things are starting to look pretty incredible for Bitcoin. It's not only just the technicals, but the fundamentals. In fact, we had Janet Yellen over on Squawk Box, CNBC, talking about crypto Bitcoin, and this is what she had to say.
I couldn't get through an interview without asking about crypto, but in particular, Russia just said that they would accept Bitcoin as a payment for their energy resources. What does that say to you about where we are in the crypto conversation?
Well, crypto is obviously grown by leaps and bounds, and it's now playing a significant role, not really so much in transactions,
right,
but in investment decisions of lots of Americans. And the president just issued a couple of weeks ago an executive order tasking us and other agencies with thinking about the regulation of crypto.
I mean, you're less skeptical about it than in previous. I mean, we've been talking about it together for a long time now, and I think you've had a skepticism about crypto technology.
I have a little bit of skepticism because there are, I think, valid concerns around it. Some have to do with financial stability, consumer investor protection, use for illicit transactions and other things.
Right.
On the other hand, there are benefits from crypto, and we recognize that innovation in the payment system can be a healthy thing. We would like to come out eventually with recommendations that will create a regulatory environment in which healthy innovation
and then
can
finally,
thrive.
On top of that, we know that we've had Biden's executive order, and this came out officially from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, saying that Biden has made clear that digital assets and cryptocurrencies must support our climate goals. Today, we've issued a request for information seeking your input on the energy and climate implication of digital assets. So this is crazy. You're not seeing them outright ban it. We saw the executive order looking to potentially embrace it, and now they're saying, hey, as long as it can meet our climate goals, then, we're all for it. Right now, New York, not too cool on the whole Bitcoin mining thing, but once we can get that green energy, it's definitely going to be much different. But this is the craziest video of the week, guys. If you haven't watched this video on Kitco News, where they interviewed Roy Niederhofer and Kevin O'Leary, you absolutely must watch this video. This video kind of kickstarted how, because when I first got into Bitcoin, you get all excited and jittery. It's like, your new toy. And then, you get kind of, you get used to it after 5 or 6 years in the industry. Well, this video completely reignited the flame, the spark. And if you were even considering whether or not you should add more Bitcoin or be buying at these levels, you have to seriously watch this video. So I am going to play a few clips from this that I found to be absolutely amazing. I hope you guys get some value out of this, and go follow Kitco News. They do great videos. So Kevin O'Leary starts out, and one of the first things he basically talks about is why Bitcoin is essentially never going away.
Now, as far as crypto goes, and Roy and I are obviously focused on that, I don't think that matters as much as this, what I call 4 vectors of policy coming at crypto right now. Let me walk just through the shopping list. So this is also unprecedented. Number 1, you got the Loomis bill, and it's mostly positive. I've read it. A lot of positive policy in that. Number 2, you've got the executive order from Biden that says we must embrace this and regulate it. Also good news. It could have gone the other way. He could have said we want to make this illegal. Number 3, you've got the SEC talking about carbon audits, and I'll get to that in a moment. That just happened last week. And number 4, you've got this remarkable situation coming out of BlackRock, the world's largest money manager, decrying and talking about Bitcoin mining and carbon credits not aligning. And I think there's a lot of policy in all of that. But the fact that that's all happening shows you that crypto is never going away. And I think the more it gets regulated, the more institutional assets flow into this asset class.
And if that doesn't make you bullish on Bitcoin, the next segment with Roy Niederhofer, where he actually breaks down what is going on globally with the inflation, with these fiat currencies, and the value that Bitcoin could actually hit, it is mind-blowing. So, I've had people say, I talk about a $1 million Bitcoin on this channel. Let's just say that's conservative compared to what Roy had to say.
My view right now is that the Russian conflict has made the case for one of the best features of Bitcoin, which is, of course, that it's always there wherever you are. So the initial attraction I had for the asset back in 2011 was it seemed to solve a historical problem, which is how to take your things from place to place if they're too big to carry. And of course, Bitcoin is always there on the blockchain wherever you are. So in terms of asset transport, it's pretty clear that there's a great use case for it. But we have a much bigger situation happening, and it has really very little to do with Russia and Ukraine. For me, the big reason to be interested in Bitcoin and the space in general, but in particular, the largest assets in the space, Bitcoin and Ether, is that the balance sheet expansion of the Federal Reserve has gotten so far out of control that there is no heading off inflation caused by the printing of dollars. Now, a lot of people blame things like gas prices at $4.30 a gallon, which is where they are right now, on the Russia conflict. But that's not what caused it, in my view. Maybe the last few tens of cents. But in reality, we already had gas at $3.40 a gallon, up almost 50% in the last 12 months before the Ukraine conflict even began. And that's caused by too many dollars chasing too few goods. So what I'm going to do right now is make a case that I think is going to make a very reasonable, sensible prediction that we get Bitcoin prices 10, 100, 1,000, and even 10,000 times what the price is right now. Now that sounds probably a little crazy, but let me take you through it. Right now, the inflation rate is about 10%. I think most people would say it's fairly reasonable to think that we could have 10% inflation for another 20 or 30 years. That doesn't sound so out of control. It's also reasonable to think that Bitcoin itself grows from where it is right now. It's about the size of the Thai baht. And if Bitcoin happens to get a little more acceptance and grows to the market cap of the British pound, that's about 5 times what it is right now. You put those together, in 20 years, you have a Bitcoin price 30 times what it is now. In 30, 85 times what it is right now. So we're talking about a Bitcoin price of 3.8 million, even if a very reasonable current assumption holds true. And we can go beyond that. Let's say there's 15% inflation for 30 years, and the Bitcoin market cap rivals that of the euro. We're talking about a Bitcoin price of 56 million. And if Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency, and we have 20% inflation, the Bitcoin price is going to be almost 500 million. And remember, it's trading at 45,000 approximately right now. So these are edge cases, I admit. You'll probably look at this in 20 years and say, wow, what a silly idea that was to predict that. But I think they are non-zero cases. They are reasonable assumptions to make. And for many other reasons, I think it's a very interesting investment right now.
Now, guys, this doesn't even begin to touch the tip of the iceberg of some of the golden conversations in this video. But I will end on the one part where, some people had said, well, what would happen if there could be a Bitcoin ban? And I was actually shocked to hear the opposing views on this. But either way, it was kind of interesting to hear.
Can we lay the Bitcoin ban concept to rest? Can we safely say that the US outright banning Bitcoin and other cryptos is no longer an existential threat?
Yes, we can. There's no chance that we're going to be banning Bitcoin or anything else that holds economic promise in terms of developing new technologies for financial services and payment systems. That's always been the hallmark of American entrepreneurship. We're not going to ban that. Most of the engineers today that are working on these projects see tremendous potential, transparency, audit, everything. They provide so much upside that they'll remain going. But the one thing that's 100% sure is they're going to be regulated, 100%. But I'd argue that's good news. We get this regulation in place, the institutions will pour in trillions of dollars. Those that have been speculators like Roy and I will benefit from the fact that these will get indexed. And that will be a great upside. And then what happens after that is based on market demand, based on indexing. The majority of the ownership will shift to the institution. The majority of the S&P is owned by institutions. People think retail owned stocks. No, they don't. It's like Facebook. The reason it got crushed was that it got re-indexed from 5% down to 2.5%. And it took 4 weeks to flush all that out because of the new perceived risk on the metaverse and everything else. That is not a retail stock. That is an institutional stock. It was one of the FANGs, still is, but it's all institution. And that's the upside and the potential of Bitcoin.
So, Roy, do you think there's going to be like a moment of definitive clarity where it's made official that some ban is not going to happen? And if so, what do you think that does to the price?
No, I think there's always a chance for a ban. I absolutely think there's a chance that Bitcoin could be banned. Look, private ownership of gold was banned in many, many countries, including the United States. So could it happen? Absolutely. However, were that to happen, it would be such an environment of chaos and hyperinflation that Bitcoin would be worth even more money at that point. If they're going to ban it, it's going to be the time when you absolutely want to load up on Bitcoin, because it will only be in such a chaotic situation that the only thing you can transact it is Bitcoin.
So guys, definitely check that video out. Like I said, I didn't even do any justice. There's so much nuggets of gold. They talk about Bitcoin mining. They talk about diversification into different things, crypto becoming the new sector. You got to check it out, guys. But it is, in fact, growing. The dominoes are aligning. Mexico's third richest person, Ricardo Salinas Pliego, actually visited El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, in a show of support for the country's Bitcoin agenda in the wake of other crypto leaders visiting the country. Not to mention, side note, you remember that Malaysia was looking to maybe become the next country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, but you had the third richest guy in Mexico, Salinas, who has been a strong supporter of Bitcoin, previously stated that he has around 10% of his net worth in Bitcoin and that he intends to keep his Bitcoin stash for the next 30 years minimum. He says, "I'm sure that only with freedom can we evolve as a civilization, and I'm sure that Bitcoin is the currency of freedom." And, one of the things, getting back to this video, which I know there was so much more stuff, but one of the things that Kevin O'Leary had said that I didn't actually mention was what was really going on with these sovereign wealth funds and the fact that they haven't even dipped their toes into Bitcoin just yet. And you don't understand that a 1 to 3% allocation right now, just in this current situation globally with what the dollar is valued at right now, could push Bitcoin's price up $700,000 from where we are today, meaning that we would have a $750,000 Bitcoin. And that's just when those guys got the green light. So that is absolutely insane when you think about it. And also, ending on just some good news right now, Pepper Investment, the investment app of Pepper Bank in Lumi's digital bank, is going to offer crypto trading. So this would become the first Israeli banking platform to offer crypto for trading. So definitely a lot of bullish things to go over today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It is the weekend. Things can get a little bit crazy, but you know what else is going to get crazy, guys? Miami. So I hope to see you there. We're going to have a lot of fun. Remember, if you are going in 6 days, they're going to raise this price. Doesn't matter to me, guys. Lots of these different influencers, they all have their codes. If you use my code, you're helping to support the channel. You don't have to use my code, but you do get 10% off. Either way, I hope to see you there. And if you guys are looking to trade, make sure that you use a paper account first. Be safe out there and watch the tutorials popping up right here, right now, so you can learn how to trade responsibly, but also profitably. So thank you so much. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.